welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to overlay text as well as image on live camera preview in Expo React Native application for Android using Camera X and Media 3 effect. So let's get started. So first I'll show you guys the output. So I have recorded the output. I'll just play the output over here. So here you can see I'll just play this video. It first asks you for camera permission. Once you give the camera permission, here you can see the image being overlaid as well as there is some text. Now inside the text I'm just displaying the time, but it can be anything for you. I'm moving my camera and then I just click on the capture button just to show it to you again. Here you can see at the bottom we have capture button. Once you click on the capture button, it just displays the image inside a live inside the image view. So yeah, that's all there is to it. So let's get started with the code. So here what the next step is to create an Expo React Native project. So you can just run this command inside your terminal and it will create an Expo React Native project for you. It will ask you for your app name, just give it some app name. Now just to quickly show you the documentation as well, there are multiple ways to create an Expo React Native project. I'm using this blank TypeScript template as you can see over here, but if you want you can use all these other templates as well. The reason I'm using this blank TypeScript template is because it creates a blank less boilerplate code with TypeScript support. That's why. Okay, once that is done, you need to go to this URL over here. So like I said, will be writing native code. I'm not using any third-party library. Also the Expo version which I'm using is 53.0.2. Unfortunately, the Expo guys have still not updated to React Native 80, which has been released a month ago from the time me recording this video, but they still haven't updated it. I don't know why, but anyways, for our case this is fine. There I don't think there will be any breaking changes as such. So just go to this URL next. So here you will have to select Android device, select development build, and I have already done all these steps. So here you will have to select your own operating system. I have already ran this command. I have set the Java home as well. I have also set up Android Studio as well. So if you haven't done this, you will have to follow this documentation, then do this particular bit of stuff, then do this particular bit of stuff. Then you will have to cd to your application, so the Expo React Native application inside your terminal, the cd to my app or whatever is your Expo React Native project name, and then just run this command. So this will install this Expo dev client dependencies as well. So you'll have to run this command. Once you run this command, you will have to run this command over here, npx expo run android. Once you run this command, you should see this Android folder being created for you. It will also ask you do you want to run your application on a simulator or a real device. So you don't have to run it, you can just press Ctrl C. We'll run it at the very end once the application is done, once we finish writing code, because we will be writing native code, right? So you can't just hot reload or hot refresh. You will have to run it from the start, so no point in running it now. Okay, then we need to create this module. So for that you need to go to this particular documentation. Like I said, this is only for Android, so we are not concentrating on iOS. So I'll open it inside a new tab, and here you can see you first need to run this command. Okay, then it will ask you some questions like what should be the module name. Don't enter anything, just press enter. That's it, and it will give you this. It should create this folder for you, modules, my module. That's it. Okay, now I'll just close this. Now a few things which you need to do. So first you need to go to the src folder, go to mymodule.type.ts, and here you can see this is the URL. Like this is the thing which we will use for sending, this key we will be using for sending the image URL from native Android side to Expo React Native side. Okay, now here I have commented this particular thing out. Now this all thing was present by default, I have not added this by myself. I will tell you what I have changed. I have commented these two things out. Now don't get confused by this URL and this URL. This URL is for sending the data back from native Android side or from native side to Expo React Native side, and this basically is a prop. We are not using any prop, so I have commented this out. And this particular thing is same what I have written over here. I have just changed the name on image taken just so that it makes more sense in our case. That's why, that's the only thing which I have changed. Okay, and I don't think I have changed anything inside my module. Just check once. I think this should be the same for you as well. Then once that is done, you need to go to the Android folder. You need to go to build.gradle, and here you need to add this dependencies block. So here you need to add this camera core, then this camera 2, camera lifecycle, camera view, then Android X camera media 3 effect, which is still in alpha at the time of me recording this video, and this media 3 effect as well. If this library does become stable, make sure you use the stable version. Then Android X app compat 1.7.0 as well. Okay, once you add all this, you need to go to the main Android folder, go to app, src, main, android manifest.xml, and here you can see we need to add two things. First is this uses feature of Android hardware camera as well as this camera permission. So make sure you add these two things. Now we also require this write external storage, but this was added by default when we create an Expo React Native project, so I don't need to add it. Okay, and also the internet permission is a good thing to do. Okay, once that is done, let's just see how to use it. We'll see the implementation in a bit. So just go to app.tsx, and here are all the imports which I have written, so feel free to pause the video and copy all these imports. Then here we have one state for image URL, one state just to check whether camera permission was granted or not. Then here I am just checking whether the Android version is greater than 10 or not, greater than equal to 10, because from Android 10 we don't require the write external storage permission. So that's what I'm doing over here inside this method. Depending on the Android version, we are asking for the required permission, and here you can see once the permission has been granted, we just change the state of this particular variable over here as well. Okay, and inside use effect we just call this particular method over here. Once image URL is not equal to empty, then we'll just display the image using the image React Native image element. If it is empty, like at the default it is empty, and if camera permission is granted, then we just display this camera preview as well as our capture button. Else we just say display a text saying camera permission not granted, and these are the styles for that particular thing as well. Okay, then again you need to go to module, my module, go to src java, and here you first need to go to my module.kt. Okay, first you need to add this particular import. Now why we need to add this? Because we need to annotate this my module @ unstable API. This is because this media 3 effect libraries are bit like this is an alpha, right? But this unstable API is because of this particular library. Even though this is stable, the API is bit unstable. This is one of the quirks of Android development. Hopefully by the time you guys watch this video, they hopefully resolve this issue, but at least at the time of me recording we need to add this. Okay, and rest everything I have kept it as it is. Then just scroll down, and here inside my module we have commented this out because we are not passing any prof. So to comment out things in Kotlin, you just have to add this // and here also I have commented this out, events on load, and here I have this events on image taken, because that's the type which we are using over here, right? That's why I'm using events on image taken. That's the only change which you need to make. Now let's see the actual code on how to do this. Next you need to open this my module view.kt file, and inside this file you will see some basic code inside this particular class. You just need to delete that code. Okay, just keep this particular class code, and rest everything default boilerplate code you can delete it. Next, here you can see there are a lot of imports, so feel free to pause the video and just copy all these imports. I'll simply scroll through this for now. Then we are annotating this class with @unstable, because in this class we are using the media 3 transformer APIs, which is unstable at the time of me recording, and given that this class is used inside my module.kt, that's why my module.kt was also annotated with @unstable API. Here we have the event dispatcher of on image taken, which helps us to send data from native Android side to Expo React Native side. Then here we get hold of our activity. Here is our frame layout. Then here is our camera preview view image capture. This is our capture button. This is our viewfinder. Viewfinder is the camera preview view. Then here is our camera executor service. Here is our process camera provider. Here is our back facing lens. Then here we set the layout params for our frame layout and add it to our parent view. Then here we set layout params to our viewfinder. Here we are calling this method. I'll come back to why we are doing this in a bit. Then we add the viewfinder to our frame layout. Then here we set the text background color, text color, as well as alpha for our capture button. Then we set the layout params to our capture button as well, and add the capture button to our frame layout. Then we do capture button dot set on click listener. Here we call take photo. Then here we override on attach to window, and if we have the camera permission, then we just do viewfinder.post call setup camera. Here we have on detach from window, where we shut down our camera executor as well as unbind our camera provider. Now here is the boilerplate code which I have written. Now I have copied this code from this particular URL. So this is an issue which has been open in React Native's repo for the past 8 years. They have still not fixed it. So if you don't write this hacky code, you will just see a black screen, you will not see your live camera preview. That's why we need to do this. Then here we have set up camera where we get hold of our process camera provider, we add a listener to it as well, and here we call bind camera use cases. Then here we get hold of our rotation, here is our camera provider as well. Here we initialize our camera selector, here is our aspect ratio strategy, here is our resolution selector, here we initialize our preview view, here we initialize our image capture. Then here we initialize our use case group builder, add our preview use case as well as image capture use case. Then here we initialize our media 3 effect. Then here we do immutable list dot builder, so we have to create this, and here I am calling this method. So this method will contain the actual code of overlaying image as well as text. Okay, I will show you that in a bit. And then we add this effects dot add our overlay effect. Then here we do effects dot build, pass it to our media 3 effect. Then here we do use case group builder dot add effect media 3 effect. Then we unbind our camera provider, we bind it to the life cycle as well, and here we assign it to our surface provider. Then here is our take photo method where we get hold of our image capture. Then here we define the name of our image. Then we, with the help of content values, we set the display name, MIME type, and if Android version greater than P, we also set the relative path. Then here we have image capture dot output file options. Then we do image capture dot take picture, here we override this on image saved, and here we send the URI of the saved image back to React Native side with the help of this particular code. Then we unbind our camera provider. Here we just check whether we have the required camera permissions or not, and here we have variables of tag and file name format. Okay, next we have this method create overlay effect from bundle. So this is basically used for overlaying image as well as text. So here we create an immutable list first. Okay, then here we define a static overlay settings. I set the rotation degree, I set the scale. Okay, and here we set overlay frame anchor and background frame anchor as well. Then here you can see we are getting the image. This is my image name, lake. Okay, now you can't actually add the image inside the root of your React Native project. You have to add it in a specific folder. So what you need to do is you need to go to the src main folder. Inside that you have to create a folder called res. Inside that you have to create a folder called map, and inside that you can add your image. So this can be anything. So I have just added this actress image, but it can be a png image or jpeg image. All you need to do is change the image name over here. Okay, then here we set the bounds for our image as well, and here we call texture overlay. So we add the texture overlay to our overlays builder and build it as well. Sorry, one more thing, this is the timer overlay. So this is for text. So I have created a separate file or Kotlin file for our text overlay. I'll show you that in a bit. And then we just return our overlay effect. Now coming back to this timer overlay, so here I have created a separate file called timer overlay.kt. Now firstly, again, this package name should be the same whatever you have inside your my module view.kt file. Then here you can just copy paste all these imports. Then here again I have annotated with @unstable API because it is unstable at the time of me recording this video. Then here we have the static overlay settings dot builder. We set the rotation degree. Here we set the overlay frame anchor, and here we set the background frame anchor as well. Then here we override this particular method called get text, and here you can see I'm passing this particular time format, right? But here instead of this time format you can pass your own static text. If you don't want to change the text, you can pass it over here as well. And here we just set the spanable string, then do text.span over here, and here we call get overlay settings and return over overlay settings as well. So yeah, that's all there is to it. If you have any questions, do let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Bye.